Hi, we're Lanes Less Traveled.
And we've been traveling the country with our kids.
Hi!
For the past 2 years, and we have had an absolute blast. And these are our RV pro tips
On working a traditional 9 to 5 from the road. I've been working an IT job remotely for the last 2 years. So this is something that I started out working remotely at home. So making the transition from the home remotely to the RV made a lot of sense.
Since being on the road, I do influencer type work with social media and our blog at laneslesstravel.com. I've never been in an office. I've always just stayed home and homeschooled the kids. And with Derek working remotely, it just kind of made sense for us to pick up and go. We didn't have to be stationary.
Yeah.
So we just started thinking about it. Our kids were growing and we're like, man, we work remotely, we already homeschool, let's hit the road.
Yep. Some of the gear you need when you're working remotely would be, you need some noise canceling headphones. There's always going to be distractions outside. If you're going to be, taking conference calls or Zoom calls, you're going to need to have a quiet place to do that. I have a laptop and also have a second monitor. I found one that's really small and portable, so I can take it where if I want to work outside my rig, I can do that. I can set it up. It doesn't take up too much real estate on my smaller desk.
As far as my gear goes, I have a laptop and I have a good high quality phone camera and a DSLR when I remember to use it to get better shots for videos and for social media and for the blog. So an internet connection is extremely important for us. We really can't travel unless we know that the place that we're going to has a strong enough internet connection for him to be able to do conference calls and Zoom calls. Mm-hmm. So we utilize apps like the Dirt and Camp Indium. Users will input the speeds for each carrier. And so if our hotspot is running off of AT&T, then we look at what the AT&T reviews are from actual users, and he decides whether it's a usable connection for him.
If we plan to go one destination and then we look at the reviews and the internet connection's a little not so good, then unfortunately we're gonna have to reroute and just find a different site. The way my job works currently, it doesn't require a whole lot of bandwidth. So typically that standard connection that you'll get at most campgrounds just off the towers in the area will work just fine.
Now when I'm uploading a blog and there is a ton of photos and more high-res photos or video like that, then we do have to worry about how fast the connection is.
Maybe find a coffee shop.
Yeah, but that's where we kind of, if we're not in a place that has like super high streaming, then I'll just go to a coffee shop and upload like that. He's a person who his work space really impacts his day.
Yeah.
And so what we realized was whatever rig we're in, we have to set aside a spot for him to be able to work.
I created a workspace at the end of our bed, which required actually removing, we had a dresser there before, so we removed that. And I built a really simple, just fold down desk that comes down from the wall. It can fold flat when we're not traveling, so it creates more space between the bed. And it gives me enough room for a chair and just everything I need to work. Because I am working typically 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, there's not a whole lot of downtime. You have the weekend to explore and do things with the family. So we started out moving really, really quickly where I was working all week, and then I only had the weekend to actually move the rig to our next spot. So that wasn't too fun. That was just working and then moving. We kind of settled down into a routine of about 2 weeks. We usually now like to stay 2 weeks, so at least I have the weekend of 100% free time to interact with the family and do things like that instead of actually just moving, and then we'll move the next weekend. So,
and we've realized that usually like at about 2 weeks, we're kind of sick of the area and we're ready to move on anyways.
Yeah,
and
it's our sweet spot.
It's our sweet spot. We figured out that's our sweet spot.
Yeah. We love that we get to see the world, see the country, and still hold a traditional job. So what better office view do you have than just looking out your window and seeing mountains or lakes or wherever you're at? With technology today, you can work anywhere as long as you do a little bit of planning in the beginning. Just make sure where you're going has internet connection, plan things like that. you can make it work, and it's an amazing opportunity.
It doesn't come without hiccups. We might get to a place and the internet doesn't work like the reviews said they were, so.
Or it's noisy, or they're doing construction or something like that, and you just kind of got to roll with it.
Yeah.
If you have to move, we have to move, but
ultimately,
that's the flexibility of this lifestyle.
Yeah, and we wouldn't change it, so we said we were gonna do this for a year, and here we are 2 years later,
Yep.
not wanting to stop. So, thanks so much for checking out our RV pro tips, and we hope they inspire you to hit the road.
Be sure to check out more RV pro tips from other influencers from Camping World.
See you down the road.
Bye.